There was some other MMA action this past weekend. PFL 7, the part of the PFL 2023 playoffs. Let's talk about 4 of these fights that went down this past weekend. PFL 7 went down in the Boeing Center in San Antonio, Texas. Let's start with the main event. In the featherweight division, Jesus Pinedo defeated Bubba Jenkins by TKO, 4:40 of round number 2. Mark, why don't you start us off? Give us your impressions of Pinedo getting it done over the veteran Bubba Jenkins.
Bro, when the fuck did Jesus Pinedo get this good? Like, he was not this good. I remember him in the UFC when he fought McDessie, and I think he had at least one other fight. Other fights in the PFL, I mean, okay, yeah, he looked great against Brendan Loughnane, but, you know, that was kind of a one-shot deal. Like, this guy was fucking frightening, legitimately frightening. Like, he just walked Bubba Jenkins down. And Sean O'Connell, I thought, said it. Sean O'Connell, is that his name? Yeah, right? Yeah, the four. Yeah. I thought he said it best. He fights like he wants to hurt you. Not that he wants to win or even that he wants to finish the fight, just that he wants to put damage on you. And he beat the absolute hell out of Bubba Jenkins. And props to Bubba because he is a friggin' dog. I mean, we always use this term, but my God, he could have quit about 5 different times in that fight where I was like, oh, it's over here. Oh, it's over here. And he absolutely refused to quit. He kept surviving. But all that meant in the end is that he was going to absorb even more damage from Jesus Pinedo because that man was not stopping. What an absolute buzzsaw performance from him. And now he will get his rematch with Gabriel Braga, his one PFL loss thus far, for $1 million.
Omar?
So I picked this fight, and I don't even know if I thought that was going to happen. I mean, the first round was an absolute banger of a fight from the Pinedo side. It all started with that knee. That knee right up the middle, clipped Bubba Jenkins right on the chin, and I just don't think he ever was given the real room to recover. There was a takedown that kind of stopped the momentum a little bit. Pinedo was able to work out of it and just continue to pour it on. I think the other thing that was glaringly obvious for me was the size difference and the length difference. I mean, Pinedo had his distance management on point, and all of those punches were all the way extended out, all the way at the very end. And for somebody with that kind of reach against Bubba Jenkins, I mean, Bubba Jenkins didn't have a real answer. And by the time he tried to get one, he was already getting his ass lit up. So it was a rough night for Bubba Jenkins. The second round kind of was even worse than the first because I don't even think he was fully recovered by the time he came out in the second. It was quite legendary performance from Daniel Pinedo, so good on him.
Yeah, man.
Jesus Pinedo. What the fuck did I say? Daniel
I think
Pinedo?
you combined Daniel Pineda from the UFC with Jesus Pinedo.
I did.
I think, Mark, you used the perfect word, buzzsaw. This man has become a buzzsaw. And he's gone into the lab. He has unlocked a few new levels to his game, man.
Yeah. It might be on that Paulo Costa juice. He looked like a physical freak.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. He looks great.
That secret juice.
Okay, in the co-main event, light heavyweight playoff action, Josh Silveira defeated Ty Flores by TKO at the end of the first round. Omar?
Dog, you want to talk about knees? Talk about knees in the clinch? When was the last time you saw somebody so effectively use a full plumb clinch in MMA? It's a very rare thing. There was that whole Anderson Silva era where Anderson Silva was ragdolling dudes. But, like, you rarely see somebody being able to get full plumb and just rain hell on somebody. But that's exactly what happened here. And God damn, it looked terribly painful. And Ty Flores ended up stumbling his ass back onto the cage and granted mercy by the referee. Crazy performance by Silveira. And I think he goes right into the finale, right? Or the championship, whatever the hell's going on there. Whatever for the money.
Yep. He's in the final.
Yep. Yeah, dude, there was an era in MMA where guys like Anderson and Vanderlei would just use that technique so effectively, and dudes just didn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah,
dude, Rich
poor Rich Franklin,
bro. The face the face of Rich Franklin in the first fight will forever haunt me.
Yeah.
That was like watching somebody get abused. And Rich Franklin is not like a bitch by any stretch of the imagination.
God, no.
Dude is a monster, right? Like, especially in his era, in his time.
Yeah.
I mean, the teacher from hell, basically, right? But dude, Anderson Silva made him. I've never seen somebody that scared in the octagon. And this is no shade to Rich Franklin. None. Yeah. I respect Rich Franklin 100%. That dude was a beast. He came to fight every single time. But that discrepancy in skill in that particular against that particular person in both of the fights, that face will haunt me forever. That was terrible.
Let's circle it back to
please. Yeah.
Silveira quick. This one, it went about how we thought it would. Like, Ty Flores just did not have much for Josh Silveira, if we're being honest. All he had was that he was a really big boy, and he was trying to walk Silveira down and use that and crowd him. But Silveira was calm backing up. He had good footwork, and he just beautifully countered Flores for as long as that fight lasted. He saw the shots, timed the shots, and, of course, eventually found that big knee we just ran through. So Flores didn't love the stoppage, but I was fine with it, and really nicely done for Silveira.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, he was all over the place. That was a perfectly good stoppage.
Gabriel Braga gets it done by split decision over Long Island's own Chris Wade. Mark, what are your thoughts?
I loved Chris Wade's pace that he came out with in this fight. He just looked infinitely more like ready to fight, quote unquote, than he has looked recently. But Braga was ready, man. You know, Wade certainly had to endure eating some counters to be able to work that pace. And Braga did take round one, but Wade teased the wrestling, and then in round two, he hits a pretty early takedown, and it felt like maybe you were going to see one of those fights where Chris Wade's wrestling takes over the fight. But it didn't. Braga did a great job to get back to his feet and really stay upright for the most part from that point on. And as much as Wade kept pushing that pace, which I did like to see, and he was certainly cracking Braga here and there, he just wasn't doing enough to win it on the feet. Braga was countering well. We knew he was the more skilled striker going in. Obviously, he did really well to switch stances, I thought. Kept showing Wade different looks, and he just edged it out, man. So, you know, it wasn't the most dominant performance in history. It was a solid fight, but he did the job. He remains undefeated, and we will see if he can make it 2-0 against Jesus Pinedo in the finals. But from what we just saw, that might be a big ask.
Yeah, man. Omar?
Yeah, dude, this was a pretty competitive fight. Split decision was not out of the realm of possibility when this fight was over. I thought that was probably where it was going to go. I had Chris Wade winning the third round and only the third round. I had Braga winning the first two rounds. So
that's the same way I scored it.
Yeah, you had one judge going 30-27 one way. I think one went 30-27 the other way, and I think one went.
God, I forgot that.
Yeah, and I think one went 29-28 in favor of Braga. So it was a difficult fight. I 30-27s in either direction usually can result in a what the fuck were you guys watching? They were close rounds. They were close rounds. In the moment, I could see why you might be leaning towards one guy or the other, and each individual round was just as difficult to score as the last, I thought, with the exception, I guess, really of the third round. So maybe 30-27s are a little crazy, but yeah, great fight overall. Though it was a really competitive fight.
Okay, last one. Back in the light heavyweight division, help me with his name again. Impa Kasanganay.
Kasanganay.
God damn it.
Now you're making me doubt.
Kasanganay. Let's just say Kasanganay. Round one, beast knockout over Marthin, Hamlet. Mark, go first.
The power of Impa carried the day, man. You know, even though Hamlet was the larger man and managed to almost run through Impa for a takedown early, and even though he did manage to work that wrestling a bit, even though he was improved and had gotten more comfortable on the feet, even though all this, it only takes one. And that's what happened here. I mean, really, it was a few, but it was a beautiful combo from Impa. The first clean one he landed all fight, really, and it dropped Hamlet. So that's all it took. An awesome finish for Kasanganay. He keeps rolling. He gives you the great interview afterward. Easy guy to root for, and I'm excited to see him get his shot at the million.
Absolutely. Omar?
Yeah, dude. Impa Kasanganay has had some real success in the PFL where you would not imagine that he probably would, considering how his kind of UFC career went. But listen, he made Hamlet's neck go in like 3 different directions, so I wasn't surprised to see him drop like a bag of stones. Great performance from Kasanganay. He just keeps rolling, man. He's making a real statement in PFL, so good for him.
Yeah, man. All right, that does it for PFL.
If they already have odds out for those 2 finals, I'm very curious. Allow me to look really quickly so I can share if they do. Nah, they don't. Oh, well. Would have been interesting to hear who was favored.
Yeah, man.